And you are live.
Hey guys, Danielle the Salty Cooker here. I'm really excited to be with you guys. This is our first live on Facebook. So I don't know if you guys see us on Instagram, Pinterest, let's see, YouTube. We've been live everywhere else except for here. So I'm super excited. And today we are making homemade lasagna. This is going to be a homemade marinara meat sauce with, just making a full lasagna. So cameraman, as always, is my husband, Joe. Joe, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm back here behind the camera. I will be watching the comment section, so if you guys have any questions for Danielle, you can post them in the comments. I'll make sure to get them over to her. Comments, anything, shout out. Definitely let us know if you can hear us okay. Again, this is our first time on the platform going live, so just want to make sure that everything's coming through okay. And that's it. We've got a few people rolling in now.
Yeah, and for all the recipes that, anytime that we go live especially, I like to give you guys a bunch of different options for when you're making it. So, cooking should be fun, baking should be fun, and as effortless as possible. So lasagna can sometimes seem like it can be overwhelming for some people. So I want to show you, it's my easiest recipe besides just using a jarred marinara sauce. This is my homemade marinara, and Joe will... He's the first one to take a bite and just be like, this isn't right if I'm not using my homemade marinara. So, let's go and get started. And then if you guys have any questions throughout it, definitely just send us a message or, however it works on here.
Yeah, messages are coming up. We've got Gail joining us. We've got Aaron joining us. Gia is in the house.
What's up, Gia?
So, yeah, we're good.
All right, guys, we're going to start with the marinara. And I already have one in the oven. Don't let me forget about it. If you guys have seen any of the other lives, you know I'm notorious for pretty much setting shit on fire. So I like to keep it interesting, so when you start to see the smoke roll out, let me know and I'll pull out the lasagna. We do like to make pretty much all the lives kind of like the Food Network if it's a longer thing. Because lasagna takes 45 minutes in the oven, I'll have one ready to go so you guys aren't going to have to wait for the full bake time. So let's get started with the marinara. I did prep some things and you guys are going to see some dirty dishes, stuff like that, just because I literally just made this to have it in the oven ready to go. So we are going to use a large stock pot. We're going to add some olive oil, and I will go ahead and put the full recipe on this. Once we're done filming and it's posted, I'll have the full recipe on there. So we're going to start with a tablespoon of olive oil. You probably want this later.
Yeah, I guess didn't do my job.
Yeah, it's slacker. Okay, 3 onions diced. So it's about 3 cups. Now, because onions vary in size, it doesn't have to be exact. These ones were some big onions. So we're just gonna throw it all in there because it's just gonna add a really good flavor. And then the bell pepper was massive, so I just did, normally you would do 1 bell pepper, which is right around 1.5 cups. The one that I got from the grocery store today was a monster. And then we are just going to stir that up. And we're going to have this right on medium heat. What we're looking for in this first part is the onions to turn translucent. We do not want any crunchy onions or anything in a marinara. Next, we're going to get the meat started. I like to do the meat in a separate pot because depending on the beef that you're using, if it's like an 80-20, you're going to get some fat from there. And while a little bit of fat is good in a marinara, I don't want it to be really greasy or anything like that. So I like to do it in a different pot, and we have 2 pounds of ground beef, 1 pound of ground pork to give it a little bit extra flavor there. And you can see I've already kind of mixed it up. My masher is dirty right now, but I am addicted to that tool. We went to our girlfriend's house, and she is, an incredible cook. And I saw her using that for making, what was she making? Like sausage gravy or something like that. I was like, that thing's a game changer. Where can I get that? So we went out shopping and I bought it immediately.
Dakota Braun, I see you watching.
What's up,
Thanks for
Cody?
joining us. Kathy Duran, Marietta Melishar, thank you guys all for joining.
Thank you for joining us. We're so excited to be here with you guys on our first Facebook Live. And I wonder if we can call this our, I would say this is our first Facebook Live because we did go live with Tastemade, but that was on all platforms. So I'm going to call this our first. And then we want to season the meat. So we're using kosher salt. With this kind of mixture, I'm doing right around a teaspoon or so. We don't want to over salt it because we're going to have a lot of that seasoning from the marinara. And then we're going to add some pepper. You know what? I'm going to do fresh ground pepper. Otherwise, I'm going to start sneezing here on camera. And that's why I dice the onions ahead of time, guys, because I'm a hot mess when onions are out.
Got a little sizzle going in this pan already.
Yeah, has anyone out there tried the goggles for onions? If you have, pop us up and let us know how they work. I swear, every Thanksgiving when I have to do like, you know, chop up like 20 onions, every single year I'm like, you know, I'm buying those damn goggles. It's gonna be the best investment I've ever had.
I want to see you do the one where you just put the plastic bag over your eyes. You know, you've seen that?
No.
Yeah, because, you know, not everybody has goggles. So you just take like a plastic bag and pull it tight over your head.
So you're trying to get me to put a plastic bag
Yeah,
over my head?
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. I don't have a life
You just
insurance
pull it
on
below
me.
the nose, not over the mouth.
You guys, this is 20 years of being together, so don't listen to him. Do not try anything that he says at home.
I saw one chick, she put a lid to a pan in the hoodie and then pulled the hoodie strings tight. See? DIY.
You know, I think
You don't need
all of
goggles.
these things that you learn on the top, you should start doing, and then I'm going to film this.
I'm the idea guy.
You are an idea guy. I'm good with your ideas. I appreciate you, but I'm going to pass.
Gia says, love the peppermill. Yes, I have onion goggles. Not the best in my opinion.
What do you recommend? I need some ideas. So
She said the plastic bag for sure.
You're not doing the plastic thing. And she did not say that. You're so bullshit. No, I do put the onions in the fridge, but that's only because being in the South, they go bad pretty quick. But I did hear somebody say to put them in the freezer.
How long?
I don't know, freeze them.
I don't think you'd want a frozen solid onion.
I don't know. I haven't tried it. I've only tried the fridge, which definitely helps some. So right now we're just going back and forth on this. So here's some different variations. And I want to make sure that we don't burn the onions. We want to get them cooking because we do have so many onions that we want to keep moving them around because we want them translucent. So if you wanted to change up this version of using ground pork, ground beef, you can always do just ground pork, just ground beef. You could always add in like some Italian sausage. That would give it a really good flavor. Although if you're doing the homemade marinara, you really don't need it. So, but that's completely up to you. Another option is to do like ground chicken and ground turkey. Those work really well. Or if you just want to do meatless, you can definitely do that. And that I've made that a few times, and that's turned out really good.
So what do you do in place of the meat?
Nothing. You just do the marinara and the ricotta.
Mm.
That's like Joe's nightmare. So in the recipe that you guys are going to see today, Joe is not a huge fan of ricotta. I love it. I mean, I could have it on everything. But he prefers extra sauce. So at the end here, I'm going to show you how I have to plate up his food.
I like
Separate.
extra meat, extra sauce, hold the ricotta.
Yeah. Extra meat, extra cheese, a little bit of pasta. Yeah.
Okay, we have some solutions for onions. Kimberly Wallace says, have a wet paper towel next to you when you're cutting the onion. There was no other explanation there though. So Kimberly, what do you do with the wet paper towel? Gia says, run cold water over a very sharp knife. Works better when you cut it.
Okay. I will be doing that tomorrow because tomorrow I'm going to butcher the name. Tacos al pastor. Al pastor tacos.
And Dakota says, Joe Ryan wants a shout out. I saw him and I was gonna snub him, but I guess I'll give him a shout out.
Joe Ryan is Joe's best friend, so. What's up, buddy? Thanks for joining us. All right, so we're just going to grind this down. It's not the most attractive looking thing. Yeah, so this is cool. I figure, you know, being on here, we're gonna get, it's so funny how, I guess just being on all the social media platforms, I'm just kind of used to being on all social media platforms, but a lot of people are very specific on what they're on, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Joe's a huge fan of TikTok. My assistant takes care of TikTok for me. I love Facebook, Instagram. I mean, I love it all, don't get me wrong. But yeah, it's definitely really different on different platforms.
I'm just smiling over here because Danielle has now joined and was laughing that I was going to snub Joe Ryan. So we've got the whole family on.
Yeah, and speaking of which, did you guys get goats yet? Because I really think that you
I think Joe Ryan just built a big goat pen.
Okay, well that's cool.
Well, he said it was for the horse, but I told him it looks like there's plenty of room for goats.
So while we have this cooking, let's go ahead and fill you guys in on some stuff that we're doing. Again, if you guys have already heard this because you watched this on Instagram as well, I'm sorry in advance. So some things going on. Next week we are shooting the second half of the cookbook, which will be the final half of the cookbook. I'm so excited. It's definitely been a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, mostly the yeast breads, which is just really tricky doing gluten-free and dairy-free. The cookbook will be all gluten-free and dairy-free baking, and you can make everything full gluten and full dairy. So next week, when we go live, Joe's going to be filming us, and the photographer flies in on Monday. We're going to get rolling on Tuesday and work all week. So the second half will be done. We're hoping that the cookbook will be out right around February to, I think it's February to March next year, but we are running 2 months ahead of schedule, so that would be amazing to get it out by Christmas, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Next part is we just got enough surveys, everything came through, and we are going to be hosting a vacation tour package thing. And I shouldn't say that, I don't know, are we hosting it? I think that's how you'd say it.
Yeah.
We're not giving the tours. We're going to be on tour with you guys. And the spots that you guys have picked is Bali and Belize. So we are going to look at the vacation packages, start putting that together. And it is an incredible group rate, guys. I mean, the Bali one, I was blown away of how inexpensive it was. So I have to look at them, and then we'll go ahead and post those. It's going to be for a small group. It's a first come, first served kind of a deal. And it will have a waiting list too, in case somebody's not able to make it last minute. But yeah, we'll definitely keep you guys posted on that. Really excited. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Gia says, I love that you say his whole name, Joe Ryan. No, Gia, that is his first name.
Yeah.
His whole first name is just Joe Ryan. Trust me, I've made fun of him for years about that.
It's kind of like Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Our onions are translucent. I turned the heat low because I don't want things popping up here. So first thing that we are adding is I believe it's 28-ounce can. Let me double check.
And Joe Ryan, speaking of Joe Ryan, says, I bet it's starting to smell awesome. It is.
Yeah, we need to invent that scratch and sniff for this. I think that would be awesome. All right, 28 ounce of tomato puree is going in. Make sure you get all that goodness in there.
Hey, you did it too fast. I kind of missed the shot.
You gotta be quicker.
Gotta be quicker than that.
Yeah. Next, hold on. Come here.
Okay.
See?
3, 2, 1.
14 ounce of diced tomatoes. we are going to do 12 ounces of tomato paste.
All right, so Kimberly Wallace specified, she says, the wet paper towel is just laying next to your cutting board while you're cutting the onion. It works. So here I'm thinking like, I don't know, are you using that to wipe your eyes or what's working? But no, apparently it just sits next to it and I don't know, maybe it absorbs the stink. I don't know.
It absorbs the stink. You're so technical.
I know. The stink juice from the onion.
You really should be a cook.
I really should.
Yeah.
Gia says, you're the only person I know that's cookbook was ahead of schedule.
Hey, don't jinx me now. That's what I'm hoping. So, but you know me. You know, it was a little bit slow. I'm just going to give this a stir and then we're going to add in our seasonings. It was a little bit slow this summer, and I think it was right around June. It was right around June. I was like, you know, I don't really have a lot booked for July. Why don't we start filming now versus we were supposed to start filming end of August and September. I'm like, you know, for recipe creators, that's our busiest time is our fourth quarter. So I hit up the photographer and she's like, yeah, let's do, you know, she was down in end of July. So she came down, we filmed.
What'd you just put in there?
2 teaspoons of kosher salt, and we're gonna do half a teaspoon of black pepper.
I caught her.
And yeah, so it just ended up working out really good. She was able to fit me into her schedule there. So she's actually from Michigan too. And yeah, so it worked out great. And you know, you never know. We still have not agreed on a name. 1 tablespoon of parsley. We're gonna do 1 tablespoon of sugar. We still have not agreed on a name, although my marketing manager came out with a name that I really liked. So we're working on that right now. 1 tablespoon of oregano.
Had some more people join. Nancy Newlands has joined. Betty Vasquez, Brian Haggerty, Marcia Braddock.
We're gonna do a dash of cayenne. Now, if you like spicy and you normally like a spicy sausage, go ahead and do like an 1/8 teaspoon, and that will be spicy of cayenne. I'm gonna warn you. But I just do a dash because I like a little bit of heat, but not a lot. I'm very sensitive. And then, because this is minced garlic, I do double the amount, but it would ask for there it is, 4 garlic cloves. And we do have some more spices, but I'm just trying to get this to not bubble up here. And again, we'll have the full recipe listed below because I know this is a lot of ingredients, a lot of things going on here, and we still have the ricotta. But once you have the recipe like printed right here, you have your stuff out, it's really easy to make. And you can freeze the marinara. I like to make a double batch and then I'll just freeze it in airtight containers and it will last up to 6 months. We're doing a teaspoon of basil.
It never lasts 6 months though, because I eat it way before then.
Yeah, normally you eat it with your lasagna. You know, add extra there. 1 teaspoon of marjoram. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Sounds right. Okay. And let me just make sure. So we have our sugar, olive oil, salt, pepper, cayenne, tomatoes, tomato, onions, garlic. Yep, we have everything. So now this is, you can do a few different things. If I'm doing spaghetti and meatballs, which was one of the things on should we make spaghetti and meatballs or lasagna, this is the same marinara that I use. I will make the meatballs, put them in the sauce, and then just let this cook on low. I'll cover it with a lid for hours and just let all those flavors become happy together. The longer you cook the marinara, the more it's going to really have all those flavors married together. Since we don't have a few hours together because I do still have to feed the dogs and, you know, finish shooting today. We're gonna wrap that part up and then add our meat into the marinara.
And are you straining the fats out of that, or?
I am. So you can see I'm using, making a mess. You can see that I'm using a slotted spoon, but I'm not like waiting forever to drain it because that fat is flavor. So I don't want to get rid of all that. I just want to, you can see that there's quite a bit in there. We just don't need all of it.
Joe Ryan says he loves dipping his chips in the marinara, so freezing a batch is a great idea.
Oh, that's a good idea. I've never tried that before, and I love chips.
And Mr. Jonathan Small has joined.
What's up, John?
We've also got Emily Stevenson and Helen Walker and Ghislaine Arogana. Sorry if I'm smashing these names. Melinda Tuttle just joined. So yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you guys for joining us. We are making lasagna today, and full recipe will be posted below once we're finished shooting live. We're going to go to post the recipe, and this will be on the website too. I just have to put everything together. We'll put it on there. So,
All right, let's get a last shot of that.
yeah, so this is our marinara. This cures everything. So whenever Joe's sick, if I'm sick, everybody's like, oh, you need to make chicken noodle soup, this and that. Nope. I make homemade marinara. We'll use it as, you know, you can use the marinara for so many different things. It doesn't have to be just lasagna, just spaghetti and meatballs. You can use it for chicken parm, anything like that. Okay, we gotta get this out of the oven here. You're supposed to be watching this.
It looks like it's perfect. So I nailed it.
When you pull the lasagna out, you are going to want to let it sit for typically right around 30 minutes. We're not doing that today, but you do want to let it sit a little bit so then when you pull it out, it's not soup. Let's go ahead and get started on the ricotta mixture. Now, I don't do a ton of ricotta because Joe's very sensitive and doesn't like a lot of ricotta.
I don't like any ricotta, but
Yeah, but we got to have
I
some.
put up with some.
Yeah. So we have, let's see, 15 ounces of ricotta. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons of parsley, 1 egg. Let me get a fork here. We're gonna add in, 8 ounces of Parmesan cheese. And let me grab a spoon.
Gary Thoburn is watching. Jean McNeil is watching. Diane Gooch says, looks yummy.
Thank
Joe
you.
Ryan says, wow.
It smells so good right now, guys. This is like, yeah, it's let's see, 3:30, so I get to have 2 dinners tonight. I'm pretty excited. That's how you can judge it. It's like, all right, so it's too early to eat just dinner, so I get 2 dinners. And we're just gonna mix this until smooth. All of these recipes can be made gluten-free, dairy-free. Lasagna is one of those ones that I do typically do everything gluten-free and dairy-free, but lasagna is one of those things that I prefer full dairy because it just makes a huge difference, but to each their own. So I made the lasagna noodles a little bit earlier. They're going to be not as soft, but cook the lasagna noodles according to the box directions. And this is, I think this is a 7 by 10. So you could do a 9 by 13 deep dish. You could do a 7 by 10. This is a really deep dish. I just found this on Amazon, and I bought it to make tiramisu. Oh, I screwed up. Hold on, guys. I gotta get this over here. I forgot all about the sauce. I was thinking about tiramisu and I got distracted.
I know, I heard tiramisu too, and I
Yeah.
just went into a daze.
And funny enough, that's what I'm posting tonight too. It's like all Italian themed, but tonight is going to be a pumpkin tiramisu.
Sheila, Debbie, Rona, thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining
Kimberly
us,
says,
guys.
if I step outside my house, will I smell your wonderful looking lasagna? I don't know.
Yeah.
We do have this fan on the side of our house that pumps the smell out. So funny thing, when our new neighbors moved in, Danielle was making something and their dog came over and was like sitting on our porch whining to come in. I literally think the dog smelled the cooking and just wanted in so bad. The cutest thing, little bulldog too.
It was so sweet. She's just sitting there. Well, she did it like this bark. I'm like, that doesn't sound like our dogs. So we're starting off with the marinara. We're gonna do a little bit of cheese. You could do, I like to do a lot of Parmesan personally, but you could do mozzarella or an Italian blend. That would be really good. And now we're gonna add the noodles. Sorry guys. If you guys don't know, I'm dyslexic and I have ADHD, so I get distracted really easily. And Joe's supposed to be keeping me on track, but he just laughs at me. And we're going to do some ricotta mixture here.
Welcome Claudia, welcome Joyce, welcome Miguel. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Anna has also joined.
Our first Facebook Live.
If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. I'm here recording and reading, and we'll pass them along to Danielle.
Joey's multitasking.
Yeah.
Yeah, put them to work, guys.
Gia said pumpkin what? I think referring to
Pumpkin tiramisu, girl.
tiramisu.
And I
Here
saw
we are on
something-
tiramisu again. You're gonna lose your spot.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a deconstructed one too. Wait till you see it. I'm super excited about it.
Claudia asked recipe, please. So Claudia, the recipe will be posted once this is done, and Danielle will have it on her Facebook page. The full recipe will be below, so watch for that.
And it will be on the website, thesaltycooker.com, and probably it'll take a few days. But it will be on there as well. Right now I have a lasagna recipe, but it doesn't have the homemade marinara on the lasagna linked, and then I have a homemade meatballs and marinara. So somehow I gotta just bring it all together and make it a little bit easier. So you don't have to hop from one page to another, because that can be a pain. It smells so freaking good. All right, we're gonna add, let's do some more parm.
Tammy Webb says yum.
Yeah, I wish I could share this with you guys, because seriously, we have 2, and there's only 2 of us.
Well, luckily we have some elderly folks in the neighborhood who, one gentleman recently fell and the other woman has had some health issues, so I'm gonna be delivering some dinner and probably desserts to some folks in the neighborhood, so
That's
they'll be
nice of
happy.
you. Joe does all the deliveries, and I just do all the cooking and eating.
Yeah, and I tell them all that I made it.
Yeah,
Take all the take all the
that
credit.
sounds right. Okay, so we're gonna add the rest of the ricotta on here. And you could also make this, okay, we've already talked about gluten-free, dairy-free, everything can be gluten-free, dairy-free, meatless. You could also make this in a bread loaf pan to make a smaller amount. And that, I mean, so like the bake time, everything like that is gonna stay exactly the same because it's the same thickness. But that's a really good option if you're cooking for 1 to 2 people.
Jorian asks if we ship. Look, everything for a price, buddy.
Yeah.
You can have anything in this world that you want if you're just willing to pay up.
No, I'll have Joe deliver it to you, but no take-backs. Until I need to shoot the next live, then I'm gonna need them back.
Yeah, see?
Okay. And also, ideas for our next live. We plan on going live quite a bit. Next week, our lives will just be of us like working in the kitchen, shooting for the cookbook, stuff like that. It's gonna be really fun, a little bit shorter lives, but we do plan on going live on here probably 2 to 3 times a week, if not a little bit more. So if you guys have any recipes you would like to see made, please either comment below once this is posted or message Joe right now. We'd love to get some ideas.
One question came through from Diane asking, where can I find the recipe for your tater tot casserole seen on a reel on Facebook?
Ooh, that turned out real good. That
Stay
turned out
focused
really
now.
good.
Don't mess up your
You
spot.
got me thinking of potatoes now. You can find that on thesaltycooker.com.
So there you go, thesaltycooker.com, and probably just search for tater tot casserole and you'll find it.
As soon as you type in tater tot, it's going to be the first thing that comes up because it was really popular, and yeah, it is so good.
We got a new search for the site too that's really good, and so yeah, you should be able to find it, no problem.
Yeah, and for all the recipes, personally, I recommend to go to the website because it just makes it a little bit easier for printing. At the very top, it'll say jump to recipes, so you don't have to look at all the prep work if you don't want to. It can take you down there, and then you can print the recipe if you want. So it'll just be, you know, actually, it'll look just like this because that's exactly what I did. So it just makes it a lot easier for when you're cooking. Okay, let's get the last of the noodles in. Man, this one box was like perfect amount.
M.A. Dion said you guys are the best. Thank you. Paulette Kelly is watching. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining, guys. We're excited. This has been a really fun live.
Gia, I don't know how to pronounce what you said. She said something would be amazing. It looks, I don't know. I'm not even going to try it.
Spell
CACIO space E space Pepe.
Yeah.
What is it?
I don't want to embarrass you and say it, so
Cacao, is it? Okay.
give me a second. I know what you're talking about. It has like pepper and it's a really good cream sauce. And actually, it's been on my list to make forever. Damn.
And then she asked if I have the hots for Danielle's tots. I do. They're amazing. And she makes me say that.
Yeah. I gotta pay him $20. Okay, so now you could top it either with a little bit marinara if you want, or if you want, you can just top it with the mozzarella cheese. I like to just do the straight mozzarella cheese. Man, this deep dish is really nice. I don't even think I'm gonna need this pan, but I always recommend putting lasagna.
Yeah, use the pan just in case.
Yeah, you don't want to get the house all smoked up, setting off the alarms, setting off the dogs. This just makes it a little bit easier for cleanup.
Kim will thank you.
Yeah. And we're just going to sprinkle just a little bit of dried parsley on top. I think I need another coffee. I should have had a whole one instead of half.
There you go.
Okay.
Sheila's joined us. Lori's just joined. Faye has just joined. Thank you guys.
Thank you for joining us. We are getting ready to pop the lasagna in the oven. We're doing it at 375 or 350 if you have a convection oven. And if you start to see it get too brown, like, so that, which I'll show you in a minute, is a little bit browner than I would like. But Joe was slacking and forgot all about it, so it is what it is.
Show them the layers here.
But if it starts to get a little bit too brown, go ahead and gently tent aluminum foil on top, and that's gonna prevent it from getting too crunchy. Oh, I just turned off the oven. All right, pop this in. It weighs like 30 pounds. All right, that's in, and let's go ahead and get everything set up. So we have some marinara that we have left over. And typically you will have a little bit left over, like 2 to 3 cups, like you can see there. We don't need that now. Maybe up.
Kimberly says, we love the opportunity to be the Salty Cooker tasters. Thank you guys. I just realized who this is. This is Kim
You didn't
in
know
our
that?
neighborhood. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. Sorry, Kim.
You're so pretty.
And Rose has joined us. Sheila has joined. Rebecca has joined. Thank you guys.
Thank you for joining us. We have lasagna. So, The preference of how much you want your cheese done on top, completely up to you. I normally like it a little bit less than this, but it's gonna have a great flavor. So, and you wanna let it sit right around 30 minutes or so, so then when you pull it out, it's not a soupy mess. Now, do we do that? No, no. We normally dig right in and just eat it like it's a lasagna skillet.
Yeah, and it turns into a soupy mess.
Yeah,
And we don't care. We soak that up with bread.
yeah,
Not that we eat a lot of bread,
yeah.
but we eat a lot of bread.
Garlic bread.
What?
Yeah. we
Throw
know
it
what
away.
you're actually eating.
There's no point.
Just get rid of it. Yeah, I did have a bread recipe that just came out that would be really good with this. All right, so let's go ahead and cut into this bad boy. I'm so excited, I'm so hungry.
And she cuts small pieces, as you guys see. I usually need 2 or 3
Yeah,
just
when
to
you
fill
come to our
up.
house, you're eating. This isn't like, when you bring it out, it should be a presentation.
I took a piece of cake and your tres leches over to a woman named Patty in the neighborhood, and she took it and she goes, "Oh my God, this is beautiful. What am I supposed to do with all of this? Can I just cut a slice off?" I'm like, "No, that's just a piece." She's like, "This is too much. I could eat this. This would take me a week to finish this." I'm like, "Yeah, that's 1 piece of each," as Danielle cuts it.
It's like if you go to my grandma's house, she's Polish. So she's like, you say, if she'll ask you, "Do you want any ice cream after you just had a huge meal?" Because she made like ribs and, a ham and everything else. "Do you want any dessert?" "No, I'm stuffed. I'm stuffed. I don't want any dessert. Don't give me any dessert." You have to go through this whole long thing, and then she's still gonna come out with a bowl this big, mound up with ice cream and all this stuff. Now, if you just said, "Oh, I'll just have a little bit," then it's twice the size. So that's what I grew up with. That's what I'm used to. All right, so I'm gonna get a bigger plate because I don't think that's gonna fit on this little plate here. So here is what Joe likes.
Show you guys how to really eat lasagna here.
Yeah. Just pile up the meat sauce. And try to get this out in one piece. This would be...
You might need 2 spatulas for that thing.
No, I'm just gonna flop it on.
You did it. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it smells so good. Gimme.
Then you gotta sprinkle some Parmesan on top and you got it.
Oh yeah. That turned out like money. Let me go and grab a fork here.
Need one of those little spinning displays for this thing.
Or it's just constantly on rotate.
Yeah. Look at the auto show. This thing should be centerpiece.
Yeah, I do need to photograph this too. All right, so guys, it smells so freaking good. I really wish I could share this with you because we have way too much. So you can see the meat, the ricotta. The ricotta, when you use a little bit less, it just kind of melts into the marinara meat mixture. It's so good. It just gives it a little bit more of like if you're gonna do a creamy tomato sauce, that's what it does versus being really strong on there. You can definitely top it with more cheese, some fresh parsley. I like to add a little bit of fresh basil. Just gives it a little bit something extra. Oh, I just thought of something. Okay, a lot of people ask, what about doing are they called like no-bake noodles or something like that, where you just put in the sheet where you don't have to pre-boil it? Personally, I like to do boiled noodles and then assemble. I've tried the ones where you just put them in and they're hard and they come out the same way. So I'm sure that there's ways to make them where, they turn out properly. This is just my favorite personal way. So, yeah, this is it. Oh my God, I'm so hungry. I'm so excited.
Gia, on commenting on my, thing, says you're brilliant, which, I hear it every day, but I never get
Gia,
tired of hearing it.
Gia,
So
what
thank
are
you so
doing
much.
to me? Now I gotta deal with this. So actually, Gia, you're close to Joe Ryan. So Joe, when you're done at Joe Ryan's, go and hang out with G&D.
There you go.
Yeah, it'll be an extended vacation for me.
Kim says, perfect. Mine would run away. I think speaking to the runniness of that, but yeah, yours, it held together good even after just a short.
So the cheese is one of the things that does that too. It acts as a binder as you're doing the layering. This took a long time, and Joran can speak to this because he's eaten my food from when I was 16 years old up until now. So definitely adding a little bit of cheese in between each layer will help just bind it all together.
Yeah.
And also cooking the sauce down. If you're using a pre-made jarred sauce, which is a great option, especially for a little bit of an easier meal, go ahead and pour it into a pot, cook it on medium until it thickens up a little bit more to get all that extra moisture, not all of it, but quite a bit of that moisture out of the marinara.
Yeah, we've got some other comments. So MA must live in our neighborhood. She says, wow, that's great. Can't wait for more samples in the neighborhood.
Next week we are going to be, I'm calling it bread week. It's going to be like the British Bake Off, except, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be looking as happy.
You might be looking just like some of those contestants.
Yeah, crying in the corner, shaking. Yeah, no, it'll be fun. It's going to be a good time because it's not all that. Actually, we're going to be making some of my favorite desserts ever. We have cream puffs, we have eclairs, we're doing a coconut cake with a raspberry layer, tarts and French pastries, and I'm very excited about that part. The breads that day will be a little bit, cinnamon rolls will be no big deal. I actually just posted some cinnamon rolls last night. If you guys want to take a look at their apple cinnamon rolls, it's super easy. Actually, it's one of the easiest recipes I've ever made, and it's a yeasted bread. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Okay, so Rebecca just asked for the recipe. So tell everybody where they can find the recipe one more time.
So for today's recipe, once we're done streaming, I'm going to go ahead and post it, and I'll go ahead and put the full recipe in there, and then it will also be on the saltycooker.com in probably about a week or so. We're about a week behind on getting blog posts on there. We do have the marinara on there, but it's under the spaghetti and meatballs, and then we have the lasagna under lasagna. It's just not together yet.
Okay, so when we get done with the live, you'll be posting it to your Facebook page, which is at the Salty Cooker on Facebook.
It's going to be on this video in the caption.
Yes, there you go.
I hope. No, it won't be.
Okay, any other questions before we're done, guys?
Look at this goodness, guys. And you can see those layers. I should flip it, but it's hot, so I'm not going to flip it.
You might come around?
Yeah, you come around. So you can see the layers and that goodness. And yes, anything else that you guys would like to see us make, because we will be going live again. Who knows? Maybe we'll go live tomorrow and make like pumpkin donuts or something like that. Let us know what you guys want to see in the comments below.
Rebecca just said, hi from Ohio. Can't wait to try your cinnamon rolls. Do you have any good mini bundt cake recipes?
Mini bundt cake. I do. I have a, actually I have quite a few bundt cakes on there. I have a peach, I have a pistachio, I think a raspberry, a blueberry, all on the Salty Cooker. And if you just type in bundt cake, it'll come right up for you.
So the saltycooker.com, go to the search box, type in bundt cake. You should get everything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just pistachio. It could be pistachio raspberry. That one is my personal fave. It is so good.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you guys again soon.
All right, thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.